What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol ALLK for Allakos Inc. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room. The candle in question is this tiny one down here, closer to about 10, as opposed to where it looks like the chart left off, closer to about 85, right? So anyone who's been long this stock from up here is sitting on a significant loss at this point in time. You can clearly see we're down about 89.87. Let's just round it to 90% on today's session. Overall, huge bloodbath inside of this company, largely driven by a failure from a couple of their, I don't know if they're drugs or what here, but Enigma 2 and cryptos, right? They did not achieve statistical significance, and of course, that is not a good thing whenever we're dealing with these companies that rely so heavily on positive results from trials and sort of approvals, so on and so forth. So there's two camps of thinking that we need to consider. The first one is for anyone who's long from up in this section of the chart. The first thing I would ask you to consider is how long, if ever, do you think it will take for the chart to return back up towards this $80 mark, where, you know, that's likely the first area where you could potentially start taking break evens here inside of Allakos, right? So is it really something you want to wait out for? Do you want to sell the position and just move on with it and, you know, not think about this stock ever again? Do you think that maybe you'll sell a partial of the position here at 30 on a rebound and then hold out for the rest? Just start thinking about what your plan of attack is, if any, in this name. Now, granted, again, you're sitting on about a 90% loss as of right now. Maybe some of you are lucky and you got it from in here, and maybe it's not quite as bad, but still, what is it, like an 85%, 80% loss, something or the other? You just got to start asking yourself, do you want to occupy your mental sort of bandwidth with thinking about this, hoping and praying for an update, or do you just want to cut it and move on? And again, I'm not telling you what to do personally. Those are just the questions I would advise you to ask, and that's what I would be thinking about myself. Now, the flip side of this coin is for anyone who thinks that this is a massive deal here. We're going to hop in at 8.55 and we're going to double our money even if it just goes to 16 on the upside, right? And yeah, it's a legitimate thought to be thinking about. However, I just want to remind you, you know, how many people are overhead here who are potentially going to think about selling their position and continuing to sell as and if this moves lower. I want to just focus on the 30-minute structure as well. This is going to be incredibly annoying to zoom in on, but it's kind of important, a must do here. So let's see if we can get it in range. There we go. So here we go. We're getting it into sight, and just a nasty day, right? There was no one who really stepped in right out of the gates here and said, wow, this is a huge sale. I'm going to step in and be a buyer, right? If that was going to happen, we would have printed at least a first 30-minute green bar. It just didn't, right? So no one's really seeing this as a massive discount. No one's stepping in and saying, wow, what a good deal. I'm going to scoop this up. Instead, what it looks like to me is just a massive distribution or sell-off of the shares, you know, where it was just like relentless unloading. You can see the volume was through the roof here, basically dwarfs everything else that we've seen on the daily perspective. So as of right now, I'm not really seeing a reason to try to step in here and catch this as a falling knife, quote unquote, on sale here inside of ALLK. Now, sure, could it retrace a little bit higher? Yeah, it could. And in the post market, we're doing a little bit of that, right? We're 946 by 947. But I would advise, you know, patience. If we can start breaking out up and over 11 on decent volume back to the upside, then maybe there's something to be had there. But in the face of something as dramatic as this, please just wait for the extra little bit of confirmation. You don't literally need to get in at the ground floor here in order to make some money, right? A break of 11 gets interesting, and if volume wants to support the move, then fine. We know we're in a huge overhead gap. I would probably just monitor whole and half dollars and intraday levels that do form using a very, very strict and disciplined stop loss as and if this moves higher in the first place. So those are my thoughts on trying to catch the falling knife. If you enjoyed today's video or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.